In this video, I'm going to see what happens when I take the SD card out of my MPC Live and put it into the Akai Force. Check it out. What's up? My name is Matthew. If this is your first time here, I do MPC Live videos, I do Akai Force videos, and other videos about audio. So what I have here is a project loaded up that I'm using in my MPC Live tutorial series. It's Project 01 is what I titled it. All right, so this particular file is saved onto the internal drive here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and go to Save As. I want to save this onto my SD card, which is indicated by MPC 01. I'm going to go into my projects folder into here, open that up, and I'm just going to save it into there. All right, so you can see this particular project has drum program track, has a bass program track, and it has a digitone audio track. All right, so this is basically a drum program, this is a key group program, and this is an audio track. So what I want to see is how the Force handles loading up this project, if it could even load this up into the Force, and what it actually looks like. All right, and one other thing I want to see is if I come over here to my expansions. So these three expansion packs are actually loaded onto my SD card. So I want to see if these expansions actually show up in the Force. All right, so let me go ahead and go over to Places, eject this thing. All right, so I'm going to take it out. You can see right here, it's just a standard SD card. I'm going to pop this in the Force and see what happens. All right, so what's up? I got the Force powered on right here. So what I'm going to do is just go to an empty project. So once that loads up, I'll go ahead and go to my browser. But first, I'm going to put this SD card into the SD card slot on the front of the Force. So I'm just going to plug it right in. All right, so now that the SD card is in, I'm going to go to load. It's going to bring me to my browser right here. All right, so if I go over to places, that's going to show me all the cards and hard drives and everything I have connected into the Force. Right here's the MPC 01. You can see all the same files are showing up, so that's a good thing. Let me go ahead and go to my project folder. All right, and then it was called Project 01. So it's actually loading it, or at least it's trying to load it. We can see something has populated. I didn't really see what that said on the screen there, but it looked like it said something about MIDI. So I'm going to go back to my matrix. So it looks like a drum program loaded, a bass key group loaded, and drum and bass hits. It just loaded up all the programs that I had in there, even though I wasn't actually using them in that particular sequence. These two are actually loaded up. All right, so let me go ahead and see what this is. Okay, so it says drums. Let me get my headphones. Let me go over to the note mode and tap the drums. All right, yeah, the actual drum kit loaded up. All right, so this is the exact same drum program that we created in the MPC series. All right, so what I'm gonna do is look at the pad mixer. So if I go to shift and mixer, all right, so I wanna tap the kick drum. Yeah, so that loaded up. Snare, hi-hat, open hi-hat, and then the crash. So all of those loaded up, okay? And all the volume settings are still there, so that's good there. I didn't have any effects or anything on this particular drum program. So let me go back to the matrix. All right, so it was actually able to load that drum track up. And it looks like it loaded all the tracks from that project up, as I was saying. So let's go ahead and go to this space right here. All right. All right, so the bass key group loaded up, so that's good. And it sounded like all the velocity settings are still in there. So when I hit it lower, it has that sound. When I hit it harder, it has that sound. So that's a good thing there. There's actually nothing in this track. So this was actually the chops. Yeah, so the chops showed up. So if we go over here to the menu and then take a look at the track edit and go to our samples here, you can see I'm tapping the pads here and it looks like they all show up. So what I'm gonna do is just zoom in on that so you can see it. So if I go to knobs, screen, so I'm gonna zoom in on that so we can see. All right, so this is actually a mix down that I made a drum program out of. So all that shows up there. I can change my start and end points right there. See what I'm saying? You know, I could use the pads to select whichever section of the chop I want, and then I can change the start and end points. All right, change the start point. You can see I'm changing the start point. Change the end point of that particular pad. You know, that's working out pretty good there. Let me go back to the matrix. All right, and this is the audio track that I recorded the synthesizer onto. I recorded that digitone onto. Now we can see none of the sequence data loaded up. I don't see any clips or anything. You know, it didn't even load up like the audio clips. So let's go into clips so we can see. Yeah, see nothing. So I'm wondering, did it actually load that audio into the audio pool? So I want to go to the audio pool. So one way to do that is if you go to menu and just sample edit, and then we can actually see everything in there. So I can see right there, digitone record 1, something showed up in there. All right, looks like that is the audio right there. So if I go to right there, I can actually play that. All right, so that actually showed up. Let's see, this is the mix down that I made. All right, so this is the mix down of the song that I was actually messing with in that other drum program. So it looks like it did load the audio from that audio track. So let me go to a clip. Let's see if I can make a new clip. So digitone clip 01, clip name. All right, so what was it, 2 bars? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if I can add that audio in there. All right, browse samples. See if I can add that in there. Should be digitone 01. Place that started clip, do it. All right, so it's right there. So let me go back to my matrix. All right, look. So I was able to bring that audio in. I could change the clip length. And this sounds like it's actually warping it to be the speed of this particular track. All right, so we can see that I was able to make a clip out of that. All right, so let me go back to clip, see if I can change the length of that clip over into 4 bars, because it was actually 4-bar loop. So loop length right there, 4 bars. So this should be the entire clip. Yep. All right, so this is the entire actual audio track from that sequence. So let me go ahead and go back to my matrix, and it should play the whole thing. So what I'm wondering is, where did the MIDI data go? Can I bring in the MIDI data into this clip? You know what I'm saying? If I go to load, can I load just, you know, the MIDI data? Let's find out, because you know, you could potentially transfer your songs from your MPC over to the Force and like have a remix performance of it, you know, and be able to play it live at shows and different things like that. So let me go ahead and, where was it at? It was in the projects folder. So I'm in the projects folder. So let me show the other folders. There we go. So if I find project 01, okay, so this is the project data folder. So if I go in there, are there going to be actual, you know, MIDI programs? You know what I'm saying? Like where is the MIDI sequences? And I'm not seeing any of the MIDI sequences in here. So I don't really know why I'm not seeing that. All right, so if we can't pull in the MIDI data from the project of the MPC, there's definitely room for improvement here. All right, so it looks like I'm able to load my drum programs individually. I can load right here, my bass key group, but I don't see any data for sequences. It's really throwing me off. Shift maybe. Got load clips. Now what I'm wondering is if I export the MIDI file on my MPC, you know, individually on each track, if I'm able to bring those MIDI files in. Because if you look over here to content, we got MIDI clips and they say .mpc pattern. So what I'm wondering is if I can export the MPC pattern from my live onto the SD card, if I could bring it in, and I might actually experiment with that in a minute here. But before I do, let me go to the next point. Do my expansions show up? And if you look right here, they absolutely show up. All right, I actually made this when I hit 1,000 subscribers. If you look right here, it's got a few different kits in there. So if you go to the description, you can actually download this. But let me go ahead and load up one of these kits. So I like this particular kit. Let me load that just to get it in there, and then go to the matrix. And I actually replaced that track. I put it on that track because I had that track selected. All right, so if I actually go in there, looks like I already made a clip there, but if I go over to clip, you know, I can go to my sequencer and select that kick right there. And you know what I mean? All right, now we can see that that works effectively. All right, I was able to bring this drum program over from an expansion, and I'm able to go ahead and sequence right there. So that's actually useful. So it looks like I don't have any direct access to those sequences from the MPC Live project. So what I'm gonna try to do is export the MIDI data from the MPC Live into a MIDI pattern or the MPC pattern, and see if I can bring the MPC pattern over into the Force. So let me go ahead and do that now. All right, you can see right here I got my SD card. I'm going to put it back into my Live. Now it would be cool if there was some kind of wireless transfer system that we could just pull over projects from the Live to the Force, but the SD card isn't that big of a deal to swap over, you know. So if I play this sequence, all right, so here's the sequence. So we already know we can bring the audio clip in, so I don't need to worry about the audio clip for this example. I'm not going to figure this out though. So what I'm going to do is, you can see that there's this drum pattern here, right? So if I go back here, if I go to the edit tool here, I can export this as a pattern. So what I'm thinking, if I actually export this, looks like I already exported this into my internal drive. What I'm going to do is export it into my SD drive. I don't have anything that says patterns, do I? I want to make a new folder that says patterns. Do it. All right, and now I'm going to save drums. All right, and then I'm going to go to my key group right there, bass, export pattern as, and then bass. Save it. Okay, so these two patterns are saved onto my SD card inside the exports folder. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my browser. I'm going to eject it, eject, save to remove, pull it out, plug it into my Force. All right, I had to load that project up again. I didn't save it in here, so I'm loading it up right now. All right, it says loaded MIDI controller. I don't really know what that means. So I got the project in here. So I'll go back to my matrix. Here we are here. So let me go ahead and make this digitone clip first, and then I'll go to clip. All right, and then I will actually browse my samples and put that back in there. Digitone record 1, do it. So there's that, and let me go back to my clip. Make it 4. All right, that should be fine. So if I play that clip, should be fine. Now my original BPM is 100, so you can hear that it's actually warping that. Let me bring my global BPM back down to 100. So now what I'm going to do is see if I can import that MIDI pattern onto the drums clip and onto the bass clip. So if I go here, so let me actually go to load, and you can see here I'm in my projects folder. All right, so let me go to my patterns folder, whatever that patterns folder is. There it is. So let's go into that. So boom, drums.mpc pattern. See if I can load that. Loaded drums. So let me go to my matrix. Okay, drums. They did it. They got that right. They got that right. So let's see if I can do the same for bass, if I actually saved it correctly. I'm going to go to load. Now I don't think I saved that correctly. I don't know where I saved that. Where did I save that? Shoot, let me go ahead and export that again. I didn't save that correctly. I don't know what I did. I might have saved it somewhere funny. All right, I'll be right back, hold on. So I just plugged the SD card back in. I figured out what I did. I saved the other pattern into the internal drive of the MPC and not the SD card. So not a big deal. So let me go back into here. Boom, there it is, bass, load that up. So let me go back to my matrix right there. So if I launch scene 1, it should be basically sequence 1 in the MPC. And it is, oh my goodness. All right, now obviously it would be really, really cool if Akai made this process simpler, where you could just save your project and load it in, and it does this automatically, where it takes each sequence and loads it into a scene. So this would be sequence 1 on the MPC Live, and it just loads it automatically in here, to scene 1. That would be ideal. All right, but this does work, so I'm actually happy about that. So basically, this makes it a lot easier to do things live. You can make your beat on your MPC, bring it over here, and now, you know what I'm saying, we could launch it. Let's say you were doing an intro to a show, you could stop all the clips, just come in with the drums. If you just wanted that going on, you could select whatever you want right there. And it's very simple to use the actual clips on here. It's not really that complicated. I'll do a video going over the clips, but I'm actually really happy that I'm able to do this. I'm able to load basically my projects from my MPC over to here. You know what I'm saying? So I could take my MPC Live with me to the park or to the coffee shop or wherever I want, because I am a user who actually takes my MPC Live outside. So I could program some beats and different things like that. When I want to get in here and kind of do an arrangement, I can use this kind of mode to arrange my clips. Now, like I said, it would be cooler if somehow they made these projects kind of interchangeable, where I could load a project from the Live in here and, have each scene be a sequence, and then save projects from the Force, and, kind of have that process reversed. There's got to be a way to do it. And that way each scene would be a sequence in the MPC. Anyway, this video has been going on for quite a while. I'm really happy that we could do this. All right, hopefully you guys found value in this. I think this is going to be effective in actually making live performances. So tell me what you think. All right, so whenever I'm done with this, what I could do is go to save, and I could save project right there. All right, so I could save this particular project as project 01. I don't really have anything set up in here. I guess I'll go into the Force projects. Right there, projects. Save it, project 01. All right, so now I should be able to load up this project later, and I could take the SD card out, and I should be good to go. And then if I wanted to load this project onto a different SD card, I could load in a new SD card and go to save as, and then save this project onto the SD card. So this is the first time I actually tried doing any of this. So maybe once I get the process down to the T, I'll go ahead and make like a streamlined video on how to do this. There might be updates in the future. I know in March, I think there's supposed to be an update. So they might change some things when that update comes out. We'll see. But for now, I just want to get this information out there because this product's brand new, and let's explore it. You know what I'm saying? Let's explore this thing. I know there's a lot of hate on it right now, and there's a lot of love too. But it's a new product. And Akai, like with the MPC series, they're always improving things. So let's go ahead and figure out what we like, what we don't like, and what can be improved. I think that Akai does listen to their users. We shall see. We shall see where this is going. Thanks for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up if you found value in this. Share it if you think somebody could find value out of this. I'm going to do more Force videos, so subscribe to the channel. This way you can get updated whenever I come out with the new videos. I'm going to put this particular video in a playlist, so go ahead and click right over here. That's going to take you to the playlist with all my Force videos that I'm making. Okay, these are all the videos I'm making in the beginning to kind of get going with this thing, because I got this thing and I just want to share the knowledge about it. All right, and I just want to help some people out, you know what I'm saying? My name is Matthew. Continue to create music, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.